Okay, we'll give this thing about 1 minute, and then I'll do my tiny live stream update. I did an update this morning on what's going on with my life and how I'm dealing with putting down the dog 21 weeks ago, and how I'm dealing with my mom and living here. And so I thought that was it. Wasn't going to do another update probably for a long time. And then a hurricane landed in town. So I'm not going to talk too long. Hopefully you can understand it. I'm not talking very loudly and don't want to go for a long time. But usually when I do a live stream at night, nobody watches. All right, so what's going on? All of you who know, who follow the channel, moved in here a year ago, had to put down the dog 5 months ago, 21 weeks ago tomorrow. Every time I say that, my throat tightens up. So I'm still trying to get through that. And I'm living in a house with a mom who's got dementia and who's just not a nice person. And I avoid her. I stay in this room, in the corner of this tiny little room, in a chair, looking at the computer, because I have no place to go. She thinks she's being nice to me now, leaving the room to go lay down in her bedroom and read her book. And I told her, I said, no, you sleep all day. And she says, no, I'm reading a book. She lied to her doctor. She lies to everybody. Lies to me. It's like dealing with a 2-year-old that takes no responsibility. They're not guilty. They didn't do anything wrong. It's a nightmare. So everything's good. I go in the kitchen to get some water. I'm her caregiver. I moved in here to be her caregiver. My cousin 2 days ago said, boy, that was the biggest mistake you ever made in your life. If I wasn't here, she'd be in assisted living. So, you know, it's kind of like a tough situation for me because I don't want to be in this house, because I can't stand her, but I don't want her to have to go in assisted living and live that way. So, and I'm just hoping it ends one of these days, but I'm still here. If I wasn't here, she probably wouldn't be alive right now. The amount of time she's fallen, the amount of time she doesn't take her meds, I could go on and on. Okay, so everything's fine tonight. I'm hiding in the bedroom, avoiding her. I get some water. She shows me a sheet of paper and says, what's this number? What's this number? It's my cousin. And my cousin's, I don't know if she's a shrink or a psychologist. She's retired, but my mom calls her. She's like her only family that she still talks to. And so she calls up. I've got one viewer. So she calls her up tonight. And I don't trust my mother at all. I don't trust anything about her anymore. So I turn on the camera that's in the room, and I turn up the volume, and I hear her saying, does your son know that you're doing this? And right then, I knew exactly what was going on. So I walk in the room, and I listen for a few minutes, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'll just get my boxes, and I'll pack up, and I'll go out and I'll buy another place, and you could go into assisted living, because I'm done with this. And all of a sudden, I hear my cousin on the phone saying, you are making a mistake. She's talking to my mom. She says, you're making a big mistake. You are going to cause so many problems with your family. You can't do this. Not the first time this has happened. She says, you can't do this. Pretty much what my mom said is, my mom called up my cousin and said, you need to drive out here. You need to bring a van. And you need to get the silver that I have, that it's worth a fortune. It's not worth a fortune. It's a set of silver spoons and knives. You need to get the plates that my grandmother left me, or whoever it was. They're worth a fortune. We had them when they told me how much they were. My mom lives in a world of possessions. She'll say, I have antiques, and I'll say, I don't care if you have an antique. If it's sat in a cabinet for 20 years, it doesn't mean anything. She says, well, I want to sell them. I go, well, who are you going to give them to somebody who's going to go turn around and sell them to somebody else? Nobody wants this stuff in 2024. Nobody wants a silver setting. We use plastic spoons and forks. So, why would you call somebody up on a Sunday night and bring up something like this? What could motivate a brain to say, I need to call somebody and create tension on a Sunday night? Because this is what she does. So she says, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're going to cause so many problems with your family. And I went over and I took the phone from my mom. And I walked into the back of the house and I'm talking to my cousin. And I said, let me tell you what's going on. And my voice was shaking. I was like all nerves. My voice was shaking. I said, I'll tell you what's going on. I've lived in this house for a year. I have cried every single night since I moved in here. She says, I am so sorry. You shouldn't be crying. And I told her about the doctor. I said her doctor's given up on her because she said she didn't want medication. She's got dementia. And she says, oh, she's got dementia. And I said, she's got dementia. It's not full-blown, but she's got dementia. I said, she has no appreciation for what I do. I said, I could care less about the antiques. They mean nothing to me. If she wants to give them to you, I don't care. But why is she doing this? I said, none of her kids want to talk to her. I'm the only one. And I am the reason she's not in assisted living. She should be in assisted living right now. And if she goes in there, she'll be dead within a month. Even my mom said, I'll go to assisted living and I'll die. And I said, well, and I'm stuck in the middle of this nightmare. I said, I don't want you to go into assisted living. You won't be able to watch your cable channels and you won't be able to have the kitchen and the sofa. And so I'm on her side as much as I can't stand her. So I said, she says, who takes care of her? I said, I do. I make sure she takes her pills. When she falls, I get her up off the floor. I said, she lied to you. She doesn't spend 90% of her time in the bedroom to avoid me. I spend 90% of the time in my bedroom to stay away from her. Or I leave the house because I don't want to put up with it. She says, I had no idea this was going on. I said, she's got 3 daughters that want nothing to do with her. They don't want to talk to her. They don't want to be around her. I said, it all comes to me. And I'm trying to keep her in the house. She says, and my mom, this is a Sunday, my cousin has company over. She doesn't want to deal with this. She says, I am so glad that you talked to me, because she hasn't heard the other side. She says, we need to help her. I said, there's nothing to do. There's just nothing you can do. Her doctor's given up on trying to give her pills because she doesn't want it. She lies to me. She lied to my cousin saying that I knew she was making this phone call. She lies to me all the time. She drops her pills on the floor, and I say, you dropped your pill. She says, those aren't my pills. I said, well, they're definitely not mine. She takes something out of the fridge, and I'll say, why did you take it out? I didn't take it out. So that's the dementia. But the other part is the rotten personality and the hate and wanting to cause tension, and that was pre-dementia. So my cousin says, I want to talk to you, and then I will call her and talk to her. We'll see if we can do something. And I said, there's nothing you can do. There isn't. You just let her live until she's gone. I said, I don't want her in assisted living. When she can't go to the bathroom and take a shower, then she needs to get help. But until then, she can stay in the house, and I hide and I avoid her. So, what else can I say? It was a nice quiet night with me hiding in this room, enjoying being miserable, waiting for this whole thing to end, and she did what she always does. She calls somebody up and stirs it up and then upsets me. And like my cousin said, she said, she's got dementia. She doesn't know what she's doing. Stay away from her. Let it de-escalate. And I said, that's what I do. I get out of the house or I hide. And that's what I've done for a year. And that's what I did when I moved. Whew. I don't want to cry. That's what I did when I moved in here with the dog. And what I'm going through now is the same stuff that my mom put my dog through every single day. And that dog would run in the house, in a doghouse, to get away or to hide. And I'd say, you were killing my dog. Look what you're doing to her. And the dog's dead now. And she's doing the same thing to me. So she's a rotten human being. My sister, the only sister that talks to her, will not come over because she says, if I come over, Mom's going to insult me again and I'm going to end up in the hospital, and I don't want to do that. And my sister's husband said, I will never come back to see your mother. He says, I love your mother. I will never come back because I can't watch her do what she does to my wife. So it's not just me. It's definitely not me. And it's a rotten position to be in. When you can say, it's my mom, I'm trying to take care of her and help her, and the other side is, I can't wait till she's gone so I can get my life back, which I haven't had since I moved in here. So, and that's what's just insane about it. My mom, I got these antiques. I want you to pick up the silverware. I want you to pick up the cups. I want you to pick up the plates. She hasn't said she loves me since she moved in here. I take care of and manage her whole life so that she's able to get by. I brought food in here 2 days ago. She says, did you bring more food in here? And I said, you're the only old person I know that doesn't want somebody to bring them food. I said, nobody else would say you brought more food. I said, you, that's what you say. And I said, so since you feel that way, I'll eat the cupcakes and I'll eat the muffins and all the desserts that I bought for you. And she says, oh, no, you don't. Those are for me. That's what I'm dealing with. So, one of these days when she's gone, I'll take these videos off of YouTube. I'll keep the dog videos on there, but living like this is an absolute nightmare. If you ever have a chance, I know Mexican families, they do this all the time. Asian families, grandma, I mean, the grandmother, the mother, the father, very common in Mexican families and Asian families. They take care of their elderly, and they live in the house instead of putting them in a place. I'm in this house, and I'm a wreck. I'm an absolute wreck because she is just rotten to the core. The one thing I've said in almost every video that I've done is she creates tension. She lives to cause a fight. And she's sitting in that room now, even though she lied to my cousin saying, oh, I've been hiding in my bedroom 90% of the day. She's been sitting in that den for most of the day, most of the night. She's watching TV. She's got the sofa. Earlier, she had the sofa. She slept on the sofa. She was in the living room. She had the kitchen. She's got the whole house. And I've been living here for 1 year. I haven't unpacked anything. Literally nothing. Nothing is taken out of the boxes. I've been teaching myself how to play guitar forever. I haven't picked up the guitar in a year. I made tons of videos and I would edit every day. I don't do any of that. I had tons of hobbies. I don't do any of the hobbies anymore. I don't know where my stuff is, except it's in boxes somewhere. Nothing's unpacked. I have a few items in a bathroom on a bathroom counter. If I leave my stuff out, she moves it around or throws it out. She's a nutcase. And she knows what she's doing to me, and now we're at the point where she's blaming me. So the nice thing is, I can pack up and get out of here tomorrow. I could put all this stuff in a storage container, move into a hotel, and go out. I could buy another place and be out of here. And when I tell her that, I said, don't threaten me, because the day I pack up, nobody's going to buy you food or take you to your appointments, and you're on your own. She goes, oh, no, don't move out, I need you. And if I'm such a rotten guy, I told her, I said, if you end up in assisted living, I've got enough money to keep you in there for 10 years, and that is a lot of money. Assisted living costs a fortune. I said, I will use my money to take care of you so that you have a place to live. No thank yous. No, we'll see what happens. She's just not a nice mother anymore. Hasn't been nice to me in years. So that's what's going on with my life. I'm in women's clothes, hun. I hope I pass. Okay, so one person's telling me they're in women's clothing. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. And the other person says, hi, huh. All right, so that's the update on my life. That's what's going on right now. I had planned on going in the den and stretching out on the sofa and watching some TV and enjoying the last few hours of the day. But she is going to stay in there until, like, I don't even know what time it is. She'll probably stay in there till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And she might say something as she walks by the door, or she might say, have a good night. Or she might say nothing. But it's to the point where I just have to live in this room now until she's gone. Pretty pathetic, pretty sad. If you ever have to take care of a parent, everyone who I've talked to who knows what's going on has said, don't do it. They will destroy you. I think if my dad was alive today, his personality was nothing like this. When my dad was sick and dying, he said, let me go with dignity and just don't hold me back. And he didn't want to be a burden. He didn't want to cause problems. He didn't want to cause anybody to be unhappy. My mom, she lives for tension and unhappiness, and she's loving. She is loving knowing that I'm unhappy. So that's what's going on in my life right now. That's the two updates of the day. I probably won't do an update for a long time. I'm sitting here, my stomach's not gurgling. It's like, I don't know. I guess it's the definition of leaky gut, where it just feels like my insides are leaking all over the place, and I'm burping constantly, and I burp all day and night. And my insides are burned out. I should probably be in the doctor or a hospital, or I know there's damage. I know there's serious damage. My mom, she says, well, why don't you go to the doctor? And I said, after what you put me through, when you're gone, I'll just die and I'll be out of this world and I'll be happy. So that's where I'm at now with her. She's a nightmare. Can't stand her. Sorry about this depressing video with people going in and out, and I've got some person telling me they're in women's clothes, and I guess that's supposed to give me a schwinger. I don't know. Showing.